I'm going to talk about the birth of civilization. For us to evolve as a society required new discoveries and change. For some, change was scary. The first major discovery that changed civilization was the wheel. Today we continue to reinvent the wheel, as my sister Emily will now demonstrate her hoverboard. Everyone knows the smiley face, but how does it relate to the birth of civilization? One of the ways we evolved as a civilized society was by using symbolic language. One example of symbolic language was hieroglyphics, created by the ancient Egyptians. This allowed people to express more detail when writing and talking. Symbolic language also helped to promote collective learning. Today, even though we are much more advanced, we still use symbolic language. The most popular example of this is the use of emojis for texting. People can now express detailed emotions in a single image, and it is almost universally understood. Early man existed mainly by hunting and killing to get his food source. Eventually, he taught himself how to farm and grow crops. This was a great advancement for civilization. I will now demonstrate how to gather food. I will now demonstrate how to hunt for food by getting a wild sloth. The Silk Road was a network of trade routes connecting China in the Far East with the Middle East and Europe. Besides silk, the Chinese also exported teas, salt, sugar, and spices. And they imported or bought goods like cotton, ivory, wool, gold, and silver.
Hey, you want some silk for some paper? I've seen you've been spending some time in China.
Yes, of course.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Should I like... Government back in 1500 BC was a lot different than today. A new kingdom in Egypt had formed and had a few examples of government. First being democracy. Many historians consider Pericles as one of the good tyrants, as he ruled during the golden age of Athens. He helped begin the Acropolis project, where it housed the Pnyx, and it's where the assembly participated in the direct democracy system. And on the Republic side of things, Roman senator assassinated Julius Caesar in the Curia on March 15th, 44 BCE, a day known as the Ides of March. These representatives were fed up with Caesar's tyrannical leadership ever since he declared himself dictator and engraved his face in the Roman coin. So, in Egypt, pharaohs had absolute power. Absolute power is one ruler has supreme authority, and it's not restricted by any written laws, legislature, or customs. Pharaohs that had absolute power are people like Amos, Tutmosis, and many more. Some things that these pharaohs did was increase Egypt's wealthiness and sometimes even go into war. Pharaoh Tutmosis III was accomplished making a city known as Thebes, the wealthiest city in the ancient world, and leading first war correspondents to defeat enemies at the Battle of Megiddo. What's up, Dusty? What's up, Julius?
Ashoka the Great killed 99 of his brothers to claim the throne, and he and his troops killed and captured over 150,000 people from the Battle of Kalinga. After that, he transferred to Buddhism and made pillar edicts that showed peace. And that's it.
Stop! Attack!
Good. Horsey.
Alexander the Great, and I'm gonna be the ruler. Whoa!
This is the Battle of Kalinga.
Hey.
Why was there such a loud thump?
I am building a pillar edict to spread peace throughout my kingdom. Got right on it.
In ancient Rome, there was mostly gladiators fights, which was the greatest entertainment, which was mainly happening in the Colosseum. In the Colosseum, most gladiators would either fight people or animals, which were also known as bestiaries. These fights would mostly end in death from either people or the animal. And the emperor or leader would either give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to state his opinion on the match. Also, for the poor, they got something called bread and circuses, which would give them food and take their minds off of the bad things that was going on in Rome. And this would help these poor people. Also, as a trophy or like a memorabilia, they would make the gladiator sweat and give them or sell it to people so that they have a piece of the gladiator.
You're ugly.
Hey!
Where am I?
You're in the underworld. I'm Anubis. You have no punishment. You may go.
Thanks, man.
Gladiator games have begun. On the right, we had the black gladiator with the green sword, and on the left, we had the red gladiator with the yellow sword. The match has begun.